Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this week's Tech Tuesday. My name is Jason West. I'm the Senior Application Engineer and Technical Manager here at CamLogic, and Tech Tuesday is our weekly tips and tricks webinar. This week we're going to cover Cortona 3D. Give you a little background on CamLogic. We are a leading provider of product lifecycle management solutions, 3D scanning, rapid prototyping technology and services to help your company maximize profitability and reduce costs. The technologies that we cover the 3D scanning, the CAD, CAM, CAE, PLM, and PDM side, and 3D printing and rapid prototyping. So diving in a little further on the CAD, CAM, CAE, and PLM side, we offer the Siemens product portfolio, which includes NX, Solid Edge, VMAP, Teamcenter. We also provide support and sales for Esprit CAM. On our 3D printing side, we are a proud provider of 3D systems printers, which includes the Z-Core product line, which is the affordable, full-color 3D printing solution. And then we have the full product line of the 3D systems printing side. 3D scanning, we offer the Romer, ShapeGrabber, Z-Corp, and Creaform scanners in ARMS. And then on the processing side, we have Geomagic and RapidForm. We also provide in-house high-quality scanning services as well as 3D printing services for any of your needs. So today's agenda, we're going to take a look at Cortona 3D. We're going to look at some of the business challenges. We're going to look at the solutions that Cortona 3D offers, and get into a little bit of a demonstration, and then we're going to run through a summary of what we just took a look at. So about Cortona 3D. Cortona 3D is a leading developer of software technology solutions for automating technical communication products. Their Rapid Author enables technical authors to create personalized web-ready 3D and 2D documentation, and you can utilize your existing CAD and BOM information from your CAD system or from your ERP system. Rapid Author is the only standard-based product that provides business-ready solutions for creating parts catalogs, technical manuals, work instructions. You can also create training materials, so you can test your techs and evaluate their capacity for learning new product lines that you have coming down the road before you ever ship your product. There's more than 200 organizations globally that have made the migration over to Cortona 3D. You can see a list there on the right-hand side of some of the customers that are utilizing the Cortona 3D product for their technical publications. Cortona 3D has made a strategic partnership with Siemens PLM. Siemens PLM Teamcenter and Cortona 3D have a seamless integration using the content manager inside of Teamcenter to organize and track all your technical publications. And there's thousands of people that use Cortona 3D Viewer every day to navigate the graphical data and information that you can provide out of the software. So some of the business challenges that affect companies today. There's increased volume of production and complexity. you have your customers that are looking for more concise, higher quality documentation, and then the shortened product development times. Technical manuals usually came at the tail end as the product was shipping or in transit. A lot of companies today would be working on the technical pubs they have delivered at the time the equipment or whatever your product is hits the end user. So now with Cortona 3D, you're able to get those assets out there a lot quicker because you can work with your 3D data and your bill of material information as you're developing your product. You can also begin working on and developing your tech pubs, and it's easy to make changes as the components change inside of your designs. You're able to get in there and change your data. So looking at the traditional process for creating tech pubs today, you've got your CAD CAM, or your CAD, your bill of material. Maybe it's going into a PLM piece, or it's going into your ERP. There's a wall there that you hit before anybody else could really start working on the tech pubs. And then once the tech pubs are done, you know, you're basically looking at a 2D type output with Word or PDF, whatever system you're using. So you know you're real limited. You know, you're waiting for products to be developed so you can take pictures, or wait for the designs are being done so you can get some type of 2D data to put in your tech pubs. So the business value is the opportunity to take that 2D static documentation that you're waiting for, and your manual illustrations and graphics and your digital photography. Well, now you're going to start working with your CAD data and your bill of material, because that's what the authoring process is driving from. You're able to reuse and repurpose your data, so as like I was saying before, as your data changes and your information grows or your design changes, you're able to reuse that data, and you're not waiting for a picture and then all of a sudden, you know, a component changes. Now you have to wait for it to be assembled to get a new picture. You can use the existing data you have in there and go in and make the change to the individual component and keep working on your technical publications. Operator cost reduction. So you're going to lower your overall cost of ownership for the product. So there's less time, less effort. You can include spare parts, downtime, high cost of training. So the opportunities are better supporting documents and improved visual understanding for faster engineer training. Then you also decrease the downtime and the get it right first time for maintenance. So here's just a few quotes from some of the customers that are using the data today. I'm not going to go through it. I'll leave it up there on the screen. But basically, they're seeing, you know, improved times to market as far as their tech pub side, right? Because, you know, like I was saying before, your tech pubs are usually the last component that's going out the door. Your product may have already been shipped and it's in transit. Maybe it's going, you know, over the pond, and you're waiting for that documentation to get over there. So when it hits the ground, that documentation's there. maybe you can't ship because it is going over the pond, and you have to have that documentation in the container for inspection when it hits the other side. So again, you're looking at reduced times to market there. So now we're going to take a look at the solutions and then go in and take a look at the actual product. So the solutions that we have in Cortona 3D, we have our CAD data source, which with Teamcenter and Siemens, you're going to utilize your JT information. If you connect it into Teamcenter, all your data is JT, so you're able to author that very quickly. But the solutions that they have is they have the catalog, which is going to be your parts list, you know, bill of material, breakdown of components, some quick explosions showing you know, the components spread out. You have work instructions, so how does the shop floor assemble it? What notes do they need to take a look at when they're assembling? What are the key factors that are important while assembling? You have your manual, which is the next step in the process. So this would be for the end user. How do I maintain my components? How do I disassemble and reassemble my data or my products? And then they also take it a step further to the learning side. So now if your organization has service techs or even on the shop floor, you can now create a training type library where they can go in, learn how to assemble the components and what to look for, or maybe you have a service department where they're bringing in repairs. This will help teach them what to look for as far as component wear and disassembly procedures, and then it takes it yet a step further on the learning side, where you can also test your employees or test your service techs, or the end user can test their techs to make sure they understand the material, and you can get a feedback for a pass-fail on that track. So it's a really, and through this whole process, you're reusing the data. So you're not creating each one of these individually. You're taking your assembly, you're reusing that assembly and that bill of material in each one of these. So you don't have to go back and recreate anything. Explosions that you created inside the catalog for a view, you can use to explode in your work instructions and your manuals. Also reuse it again on the learning side. So you have options when you're getting in there and you're reusing this data, and again, it just reduces the overall time to market. Also out there in each one of these are the different standards that you may have to follow. Your S1000D, your DITA. Maybe you have your own standard that you want to build. You can build that standard in, and then all your documentation is going to follow those guidelines. The look and feel is going to be exactly what you're looking for. And then Teamcenter ties it all together. So we're taking a quick look here at the catalog key features. So you have IPC, IPD, text and graphics authoring. You can consolidate and manipulate the assemblies inside of the document. Part lists and table lookup entries are configured to keep your catalogs consistent for your mandated standard. It also supports the latest S1000D and ATA standards, especially if you're on the aerospace or the military clients. The tools are extremely intuitive, and it's easy to author multiple pages for your catalog. You can link the 3D assemblies to the parts. You can generate hotspots in the 2D CDM images. As you can see down here, we have our 3D interactive view and our 2D static type layout. Moving on to the work instruction side, you're able to build in and identify components that may be needed, hardware, tools, even down to maybe lubricants or sealants that you need. You can identify those inside the work instructions. And again, working off of your company standards or standards you have to provide to your end customer, the look and feel of the output will match those standards. Just running down through the hit list here, standard bill process document structure. You can synchronize the automation of the text and in software, or text and animation. You can preview the job modes. You can also create sign-off checks. So in say a bench assembly type situation, you have your employees using this as a tool to make sure that they assemble the components. We can also add checkoffs in there, so you can track on how long that product was in that cell being worked on before it was moved on to the next. Moving over into the manuals, again, you're reusing your data. You can add other graphical information in there for your output. So you can see the image here. You can see some of the wear and cracking that you may see on a component. So if you have that data, you can include that in the manual as well. And again, you're reusing what you've done in your catalog, what you've used in your work instructions, and you're reusing it and adapting it here for your manual side. Again, the learning side is just taking that to that next step. So you can create training seminar or training scenario wizard, so you can have them identify parts, tools, procedures that they have to follow. They can do a demo, they can study, and then they can actually take the exam, which will provide feedback to you for a pass-fail type situation. So with that, let me jump over here and we can take a look at some examples. So this is that same pump you've seen in the PowerPoint. We're going to take a look at the parts catalog side of it. So I'm going to bring this up here. So as you can see, this is all interactive. So when I highlight or move my mouse over a component, it's also highlighting in my parts list. I can right-click and hide that component. I can zoom, I can rotate around so I can get a better idea. Get in there and also see what I have selected. And then with that, I also have my 2D, which could be for a printed output, PDF, whatever 2D type documentation you want to output. So I have my parts list, but you can see these are also hot linked in an interactive mode using in a web browser, creating an HTML output. It's also highlighting over to my view, or to my bill of material. I can create different views, different information, explosions, and these are real easy to create. I'm going to show you here a quick example of creating one of these explosions here, where one of these come apart here. So I'm going to go over actually into Cortona. So you can see I kind of have it there. But what I'm going to do is, I've got different scenes, so all I have to do is go in and say insert, add a name to it. So I'm going to explode the cap. So I can quickly name that. I can set my view or my orientation. Maybe I want to zoom up, so I can set that. So next time I go into that, I have that view available to me. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm actually going to select a few items here. So I'm going to actually explode these. Just going to go up here. It's going to see everything I have selected. I want to do a linear explosion. I can also do radial explosions. And now I'm going to come in here and define where my explosion is going to take place from. And it's just easy as moving it around. And I'm going to drag it out for how far it's going to go out. Select, finish. So now I've created an explosion. And it's as simple as that. You can see it's here. I can reuse it in any of my different packages. So that's all available. You can also create cuts, which as soon as this relief's done here, you'll see this will reassemble, go back through the animations. And I can also get in there and create cuts, and I can pick and choose what components that are cutting. So that's the catalog side. I'm going to go take a look at a work instruction here. So I have identifiers, I need gloves, I need glasses, safety glasses, and I need boots. So I can play through this. I have graphic feedback and information, and it's going to walk me through each step and show me what I need to do. I can look at the instruction, so it's telling me what's going on. I'm installing the, well, now I'm installing the dowel pin into the casting, the gasket. You'll see here that it, I take that in, it's going to lock the bolts down. It's going to come in and show a torque wrench and provide graphic feedback for what that torque information is going to be. I can look at the bill of material and see the components that are going into that. Any prerequisites, which again talking about the safety glasses, the goggles, and the boots. You want to make sure you drain all the fluids. And then any other documentation that I may have pertaining this this operation here. So again, this is the work instruction side. So now we're going to take a look at a manual. So I have my manual here. I can also go in and look at the 3D information. So it's going to play. It's going to show me how to disassemble it, and then where to look for this wear and cracking at. And I can keep walking down through each piece of information. So now here's where I'm looking for the wear and cracking. Here's graphic feedback for where the location of that should be at. Again, this is all interactive text. It's tied to the information. You can see as I rotate around, it's staying linked. So that's the manual side of it. And then we look at the training scenarios. So now I have my information here for for my pump. I have my help. It'll tell me how to go through and work with this document. So I have my demo mode, I have my study mode, and I have my exam mode. So I can hit my exam mode. It'll tell me what I need to look for. And now I go through and start looking. So now it says locate parts which are involved in the current procedure step, and select and click in the 3D parts or in the tab. So I didn't look to see what one it was in, but say that. So I've added that. Okay. Locate. So now it's asking me what tool do I use for that. Do I use the 15mm wrench, 14mm wrench, hammer and screwdriver? So I'm going to pick a hammer and screwdriver. I'm going to get it wrong. I'm going to submit it. Wrong. Now down here you can see that I'm in the failing side. So if I keep going and I can't get out of that failing side, then my manager will go back and we'll have to address the issues why I failed. So that's on the learning side. So getting back to some of the key benefits. Easy to use, intuitive, it's quick to learn, you don't need any CAD experience. So making that explosion, I just selected a few parts and hit explode. Picked a point where I wanted to come off from and set a distance. I didn't have to know any CAD operations to do that. Integrated and linked graphics and text authoring, so you can see everything was tied back. So if I click on a 3D item, you see the 2D text highlight. On the 2D side, I click on a number for a component, it highlights in the bill. So it's all tied together and linked together. It's flexible and configurable. So if you're not meeting a military or aerospace type standard, but you do have a certain way you would like to see it, you can adapt any of the standards and make your own. So all your publications are going to come out looking professional, looking identical to whatever your company standards are. And then you have a richer end-user experience. If you can publish these on your website, create a secure area for your customers to log into, provide a CD to go out to your end customer so they have this training material, they have the catalog, maybe they have the manual. Maybe that goes to the end user, but you have an intermediate step where there's sales and post-sales. So now you can train their service techs using the learning. You have shop floor where your products are being produced. You can create your work instructions for your shop floor. It just opens you up to a lot. So looking at the OEM ROI, reduce time to market, improve productivity, you can reuse and repurpose any of the assets, and you can get it right the first time. The customer side of it, improve training, decrease maintenance time, increase reliability, and decrease downtime. And then the total care and performance-based logistics, OEM provides 24/7 support and maintenance as service and improved productivity. So it's a win all the way down the line. So coming back to the CamLogic side, that was our presentation on Cortona 3D. Wrapping up here, we offer training for all of our products. We do have a couple upcoming classes. We have a Solid Edge Fundamentals class or Essentials class coming up in January in Cleveland, Ohio. I believe we have set the time and date and location is going to be at in Independence, Ohio, around the 21st of January. We will also have NX Fundamentals class coming up here at the beginning of February, so check out our website. Stay tuned for that. This webinar will be available on YouTube probably within the next 24 hours, so you can review it and go back and stop and rewind and take a look at anything that we talked about today. I'd like to thank you. Again, my name is Jason West. My contact information is on the screen. If you need any technical information or you have any requests for future webinars or any questions about today's webinar, please shoot me a note. You can also find us on LinkedIn, Blogger, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. So check us out. Again, here's our solutions, and thank you and have a good day.